Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for July 6th, 2012. Of course, it's a Friday, and for some of you, it's just an extended weekend. However, for many of you, it is the start of a new weekend as we head into Friday. So, what can we expect for today? Well, it's actually pretty nice outside for the most part. Humidity is on the low side as we have some dry air building into the northern Mid-Atlantic. Unfortunately, temperatures, though, are still rather warm. Over much of the New York City metropolitan area, temperatures are already rising into the lower 70s, a few mid to upper 60s over Connecticut, and of course the upper 50s over portions of northeastern Pennsylvania and the northern Hudson River Valley. Over much of New Jersey, temperatures range from the mid 60s to lower 70s, and of course in Philadelphia, temperatures are already pushing into the mid to upper 70s. The key point here is that the humidity is rather low. I mean, dew points are in the mid 50s to mid 60s, with the exception of Long Island, where we do have some locally dense fog. Fog is reducing visibility below a mile. That fog will lift by 10 a.m. So, for the most part, everyone else is pretty much under very comfortable and pleasant weather conditions. Unfortunately, that will not last. As we head into this afternoon, that dry air will linger, but temperatures will be able to spike into the lower to mid 90s for many locations, upper 80s along the coast, possibly falling back into the mid 80s with a sea breeze right along the immediate coast. And for the Philadelphia metropolitan area and portions of central New Jersey up through Newark, there is a potential with this dry air and sinking motion in the atmosphere for temperatures to spike into the mid to upper 90s. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Taking a look at the infrared satellite picture, you can see our heat ridge is well in place over the Mississippi River Valley. You can literally see the upper level flow here with thunderstorms rotating around the ridge here. These thunderstorms will weaken but will approach the Great Lakes. They won't reach the northern Mid-Atlantic though. Meanwhile, we have a high pressure system setting up over New England, and that's pretty much driving dry air into the northern Atlantic, providing clear skies and comfortable weather conditions. However, as this high pressure system shifts off the coast this evening, this warm front with plenty of humid air over the Ohio River Valley will drive towards the northern Mid-Atlantic by tomorrow morning, producing showers and a few strong to possibly severe thunderstorms, and a return to very hot and humid weather conditions. We're talking about high temperatures in the mid to upper 90s and dew points in the 70s, leading to a heat index well over 100 degrees for many locations in the Philadelphia metropolitan area and New York City metropolitan area for tomorrow afternoon. Taking a look at the water vapor satellite picture, again, you can see the dry air building south as this high pressure system lingers over New England. Now, as this dry air and sinking motion in the atmosphere takes hold, that's what's going to cause potential for those temperatures to spike into the mid to upper 90s this afternoon. Most locations will remain in the lower to mid 90s, but I want to keep that threat in mind for many of you, especially in urban locations, as sinking air sometimes can throw models off a bit and lead to much higher temperatures than forecasted. Also, keep an eye on this disturbance right here. Right now, I'm not expecting any precipitation today, but these disturbances sometimes can produce an isolated rogue thunderstorm, especially over portions of northern New Jersey, northeastern Pennsylvania, the Hudson River Valley, and northern Connecticut. So just something to keep an eye on as we move forward. And again, here's our hot and humid air mass starting to drive to the east and will reach our region by tomorrow morning. Taking a look at surface features again, you can see our dry air is really in place over northeastern Pennsylvania, driving south and east. Yes, it will be drier, less humidity, that is for sure, but those temperatures are going to be capable of spiking, so it still will be hot today and technically still under the influence of a heat wave. Taking a look at the European model guidance, again, here we are for this evening. Our ridge builds towards the east coast, and with that, plenty of hot and humid air. Again, I'm expecting dry conditions on through this evening, but we're going to keep an eye on those showers and thunderstorms developing towards tomorrow morning. That warm front moves through. Could be a few severe thunderstorms in the morning hours into the early afternoon hours, but skies clear out by the afternoon. Temperatures spike into the mid to upper 90s with high levels of humidity. That hot and humid air mass remains in place for Sunday with very uncomfortable weather conditions. By Monday, a cold front will move through, especially in the morning, with widespread showers and thunderstorms. A few of those thunderstorms could be severe again. Now, the thunderstorms will feature very heavy downpours, frequent lightning, large hail, and wind gusts over 40 miles per hour, possibly over 50 miles per hour in some of the severe thunderstorms. Once that cold front moves through, we'll see a dynamic change in our weather pattern as high pressure builds in from the eastern Great Lakes, and we'll see our temperatures fall back to near normal, falling back into the lower to mid 80s for highs and upper 50s to mid 60s for lows, starting on Monday and continuing on through much of next week. Don't get used to it though, because a Bermuda high will be redeveloping by next weekend, and with that Bermuda high, a return to much humid weather conditions. Now, a Bermuda high pattern is a little bit different than the pattern we've been dealing with in that the hot conditions are not being generated over the plains. And that's important because that means that temperatures are not likely to push into the 100-degree range, but we're likely to see an air mass where temperatures will range from the upper 80s to mid 90s with very high levels of humidity. We're talking about dew points in the 70s, and that, of course, will continue to support a heat index well over 95 degrees. So we'll return to a hot and humid air mass, but just not as intense as what we've been seeing over the past several days. So it looks like we're going to keep an eye on that pattern as we head into next weekend. That is your forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and stay safe out there. And as always, you can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook.